Hey guys, this is RG, and today we're doing my NFL Week 3 predictions video. So let's get into this. Starting this week off on Thursday Night Football, we have the San Francisco 49ers and the LA Rams. Now, the 49ers are absolutely atrocious. They are horrible. And the Rams are sort of kind of proving themselves. Not really, but give the guys credit. Jared Goff has learned to throw a football. We should all give him a round of applause. But even with this said, I think the Rams can manhandle them if they can handle the Colts, Scott Tolzien. So this game's going to go to the Rams. Next up, we have on what must be, I'm guessing, the London game. I forgot about those. It has to be. Ignore that. We have the Baltimore Ravens and Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, the Jaguars, gotta give them credit. Week 1, they found their groove against the Houston Texans. And, they looked really good. I know they lost last week, but, Leonard Fournette's okay. Blake Bortles is halfway decent quarterback. We have the Ravens, who, their biggest test is the Browns this year so far. The Bengals are worse than the Browns, in my opinion, and they manhandled them. So, anyways, I'm going to have to go with the Ravens. Then we have the Denver Broncos and the Buffalo Bills. Now, the Broncos are coming off the win over the team I hate the most overrated team in football. I don't care what your opinion is. My opinion is they're extremely overrated. The Cowboys. The Broncos beat them. They destroyed them. I don't like the Broncos really. I don't hate them, but I don't really care for them. But still, that's a promising win. Then you have the Buffalo Bills, who are currently in tank mode, where they have just driven a tank off a cliff. That's their future. So with that in mind, it's pretty clear. The Broncos are going to destroy them. If they don't, it's sad. Next up, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Chicago Bears. Now, Steelers, I know, I'm a fan of the Steelers, but I'm trying not to show bias. But the Steelers have not really had a test. They didn't have to play Sam Bradford last week. The game could have went different, and they played the Browns. Even with that in mind, they're playing the Bears. Mike Glennon looked awful last week. That whole team played god-awful against Tampa Bay. So, this one's going to the Steelers. Next up, we have the New Orleans Saints and the Carolina Panthers. The Saints, I picked them last week, and the Vikings killed them. Was it last week? It was last week. Or the week before, whatever. Either way, the Vikings destroyed them. I can't remember what happened this week. I really don't pay attention to them. Then we had the Panthers, who, they played the 49ers. The Panthers aren't doing very bad. They're doing okay. With all things said, I think the Panthers have a better chance, even with Drew Brees and the Saints, because they're a better overall team. So we're going to go with the Panthers. Next up, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Minnesota Vikings. Now, the Buccaneers, I think this year's their year to finally get out of the wasteland known as Tankland, where you drive a tank off a cliff. However, even with that in mind, they have to show up and beat the Vikings, so the Vikings get Sam Bradford. They can easily beat them. Not even a challenge. The Vikings aren't a bad team. They just need a quarterback. So, with all this said, it's going to be a close game, but it's going to the Bucs. Next up, we have a matchup of the Browns and the Colts. This one is an interesting one, in my opinion. Because, I mean, you have a team that has been utter trash since 1999 and the newest group of utter trash teams in football. I mean, Jacoby Brissett looked impressive for the Colts last week, but I mean, he played with Tom Brady. Anyone who plays with Tom Brady is pretty much set to at least know something. With all this said, I still think the Browns are going to win at least 6 games this year, so going with Cleveland. Next up, we have the Dolphins and the Jets. Now, this game actually could be closer than what you might think, because Jay Cutler is the Dolphins QB. And that is never a good sign for your team when Jay Cutler is your quarterback, just ask the Bears. And the Jets are a whopping pile of garbage. But I'm going to go with the Dolphins. Next up, we have, blowout alert, repeat, blowout alert. We have the Texans and the Patriots. The Houston Texans are just pathetic out of the gate. I mean, they really haven't done anything. You have the Patriots, who lost to a good team and did just fine last week. So, with that in mind, I have to go with the Patriots. Next up, we have the Atlanta Falcons and the Detroit Lions. Now, the Falcons have looked impressive this year, other than week 1 against the Bears. That should have been a blowout. But even with that in mind, guys, I mean, they're probably the best team in the NFC South. We could have a surprise upset team who could beat it. They're playing the Lions, who, they've looked okay, I guess. They're not a bad team, but still, the Falcons are a much better suited team, so I'm going with the Atlanta Falcons. Next up, we have the New York Giants and the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, the Giants have looked okay, and the Eagles fans are jumping on the we're going to the Super Bowl bandwagon already because they almost beat the Chiefs, but you didn't, which is my point. You're not that good. So, if you get lucky, you might beat the Giants, but I'm still got to pick the Giants. Next up, we have Bandwagon Nation, the Seattle Seahawks, and the Tennessee Titans. Now, I know, any Seahawks fans watching at this point, you better cover your ears because you're going to get offended because that's what happens. But the Titans are much better suited. They have good running backs. They have a young quarterback in Marcus Mariota, who is very skilled at what he does. So, I have to go with the Titans. Next up, we have the Kansas City Chiefs and the LA Chargers. Still got to get used to saying that. The Chiefs are on fire. Their rookie running back is insane. That man, they better sign that man to a new contract and fast if he keeps playing like this. And the Chargers, I mean, you don't have anything. You have a 35-year-old QB who can throw it to the other team just fine, I guess. You guys are garbage. Chiefs are going to win that one. Next up, we have the Cincinnati Bengals and the Green Bay Packers. Now, the Bengals they have finally dropped off a cliff with their tank. It is their turn to tank. And then you have Aaron Rodgers, he is always an impressive quarterback. The man is one of the greatest in the league today. And I mean, you can't blame him. I mean, he's got weapons. He can turn a normal wideout into a weapon. You could put him on a bad team, and I think he could make it good. So the Packers are obviously going to win. And then on Sunday Night Football, we have the Oakland Raiders and the Washington Redskins. Now for the Raiders, you have Derek Carr, who I think is the future best quarterback in the NFL. And for the Redskins, you also have a good quarterback, in my opinion, in Kirk Cousins, who I think is both these quarterbacks I like. But all things said, the Redskins have very few weapons. I mean, they couldn't even beat the Eagles, so this game's going to go to the Raiders. And then on Monday Night Football, we have the Dallas Cowboys and the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals this year have been an utter atrocity. They've just fallen off a cliff since 2015. They don't have a prayer this year. And you have America's overrated team in the Dallas Cowboys, who they couldn't even beat the Broncos last week. Just got to keep that in mind, guys. I mean, they're not a bad team. Ezekiel Elliott's a good running back. So is Dak Prescott, and Dak Prescott's a good QB. But they still lost to the Broncos. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe. This is RG signing out.